everybody, Jonathan here with another video, and today we're going to be looking at another video on artificial intelligence in architecture. I did another one a couple of months ago on Midjourney and some of the other image generators, but I'm pleased to see that there's been some really interesting progress on this front. So I noticed this new article in Dezeen just recently, and basically there's a really cool new application that you should know about called LookX. So I really want to just take a little moment in this video to take a look at this. Now if you read the article in Dezeen, it's very interesting. It talks about how LookX is the world's first artificial intelligence generator, really trained specifically for architecture and by architects as well. So it's really, really great to see architects actually embracing this technology and creating a tool that really focuses on our needs, as opposed to the more general things like DALL-E and Midjourney. So I'll be taking a look at this with you and showing you why you need to have a look at LookX. It does look very, very cool, and it'd be interesting to see what your thoughts are on this amazing new software. But one of the sort of stated goals of the aim to transform architectural design with AI technology, just allowing architects to be freed up from that very early creative expression and, repetitive operational tasks. So we'll have to see where this leads in terms of our profession, but there's certainly some wonderful examples on here, and I generated some pretty amazing things the very, very first time I looked at this, which is really this time. So let's get going on the video. Okay, so here we are on the LookX.AI website, and you can see it's a really nice sort of new website. I think they've done a nice job at sort of promoting the tool. What I quite like about this is, as well as sort of very realistic art, you can do really sort of nice early stage kind of conceptual things. And I'm really excited to see how you can load in a base and reference image as well, which is really important. It looks like it can create some pretty high quality renderings and images as well, which is obviously really key to this kind of technology. So if you want to jump in, just make sure you go to the website, register, which I've already done, and let's just go and visit the Creations Plaza, as it's called. Now, it'd be interesting to see if it's sort of saved any of the stuff I played with very, very briefly, but I have to say, most of what I'm going to be doing now is right in front of you, pretty new. So let's get rid of that little survey icon here. Okay, so what it's now done is presented the home page, where you can basically share your different work. You can kind of see what other people have been up to, and basically start off, if you wanted, with some of these sort of presets and generate these. Some really, really cool ideas. That looks like a Zaha Hadid kind of concept here. In fact, it says by Zaha Hadid, so very interesting that they're actually contributing to the website. Now, I'm keen to actually kind of start something completely from scratch, although I definitely would recommend you view these as well. If I do go to my saved ones, I haven't actually got anything in there yet. So let's go through to the Creations Plaza, and when you're ready, you just click Start Creations. So the very first thing you're going to need to do, of course, is come up with a concept or prompt. Okay, so it just takes a few seconds to progress, as you can see. Basically, we can actually see some of the prompts that I've already started, and this was really for a modern villa. What I did was started with a modern villa by the beach. That was all I said, and these were the initial generations, these four here. And if I want to, I can click on those and basically look at them in a slightly bigger sort of sampling size as well. So, I like the level of quality. It's a nice size image, and I can sort of flick through these different concepts. As you can see, here was the prompt, modern villa near beach. That was really literally it. It was very, very simple. But then there was a whole bunch of other features that I could do as well. So let's just click back onto the Explorer and see all the images. Just to make a couple of points here, if you do want to, you can click on a single image, and basically you can give it some ratings and stars, and you can also share it as well. Okay, so that's cool. Now, if you do notice, it's got a very, very nice interface, LookX, certainly nicer than Midjourney or DALL-E in my view. It can definitely tell that a designer and an architect has been perhaps involved in the UI and the integration here. So if you kind of close all these little tabs down, basically you will see that you can open them up one by one. Okay, so we'll start with the base settings. And this is if you want to actually pre-select one of the other concept models. Okay, but I don't want to do that right now. If we go to something called LoRa settings, what you can actually do here is add sort of different backgrounds and different sort of concepts as well. And basically that will kind of mix in to create images of a certain style. So we'll come back and have a look at that in a bit. Okay, but what I really want to do is just focus on the prompt. So here is my very simple prompt, modern villa, as you can see. Now, the really nice thing here is you can actually click AI Elaborate. Now, this is the first time I've seen this particular function where basically the AI will actually elaborate. And you can see it's actually come up with some sort of text here. It's a little bit hard to read because of the contrast in the colours. I would have made that a little bit easier to read. But basically I'm going to click OK and apply. I can retry if I don't agree with it, but let's see. So this is going to be in the style of Frank Gehry, which is interesting, one of my favourite architects actually. The previous one was actually in the style of Richard Meyer. So I'm intrigued to see what it will do. Okay, so here actually you can edit the text once you've loaded it in. So if you do want to, you can generate that AI text and then load it in and modify it as well. But let's just go with the suggestion. And then I'll come back and look at these other features down here as well. Just one more thing before we do go ahead. As well as the actual number of creations, you can also change the size definition, so 1 by 1. I think I'll go for 4 by 3, which is always a nice format. And that's pretty much it. Let's just go for it. There's all these other things like sampling steps as well. And what these will do is make it a more refined image, but take a little bit longer to generate. Okay, so let's go ahead and generate some more images. As I say, just make sure you go into the base settings and you can click here. And basically these are all the different types of images you can start as sort of checkpoints. So I'm going to go for this realistic setting and basically click Start Create. Okay, so you can see it's actually progressing now and we get a nice little kind of preview update as these generate. I really like the way you can kind of keep scrolling through what you've done in the past while you're waiting. And you can sort of, you know, favorite these. I quite like that one. And basically just sort of store those away in your favorites for the future. So as you develop concepts, definitely let's favorite that one as well. It's kind of worth hanging on to these so that you can refer back to them. Okay, so this is a little progressing. We'll have a look at this when it's done in a second. These ones here were the Richard Meyer ones, and these ones here apparently are going to be more Frank Gehry. So I'm kind of interested to see what it will do with the different concepts. Oh wow, actually they look really interesting. They're definitely the same kind of basic concept. Let's have a little look at, I think this one with the C. So if we click on it now, we can get a really nice big preview. This is definitely a big benefit over the other image generators I've seen. And you can see we've got some sort of different qualities over here. So if you do want to, you can easily just click publish, and I could publish that to creations. So I might just actually do that. That will be published now, and then other people can comment on that. That's very straightforward. If I want to also, I can click on the edit button, and in the edit sort of section here, you can see we can do a bit of kind of finishing off. So what can we do? We can actually do a little bit of erasing and a bit of moving, a little very basic sort of adding images and stuff like that. This looks pretty early days to me, so it looks like you can basically add things like reference images and backgrounds, that sort of thing. Okay, so we'll kind of come back out of that and basically go back to our Generate tab. And let's take a look at how we can export one of these images at high resolution. But when you're ready, all you need to do is go to this icon here and we can actually basically scale up. There's different sort of qualities here, 10 to 20 seconds. Looks like that one actually takes a bit longer. So we'll go for the 4 times. This will take 10 to 20 seconds and it will give me some updating progress on this task. And then we can basically export this as a pretty high resolution image that will be suitable for our early stage conceptual needs. Okay, so here we are with a more refined image, and basically with this particular one, what I did was actually click onto the setting and I went for the ultimate sort of resolution here, the 2x scale up with optimization. As I say, if you click onto the little button here, this is actually really nice, the way you get this sort of slider. It's a bit like kind of before and after in Photoshop. And I really like the way you can kind of click through the different reference images. And you can see the reference image and then you can sort of see what it's actually generated in terms of new imagery. It took me a little while to work out where the images were downloading to, but basically you'll notice that if you go up into, certainly on the Mac, they're already automatically downloaded in your downloads folder. So if I right click and click open, let me just pop out full screen, I can actually have a look at that final quality image. And it looks pretty good. So, you know, much better resolution than some of the image generators I've tried. So that would be kind of ready for me to pop into Photoshop and do a bit of kind of manual editing or tweaking as well. And I'm really impressed by the level of quality. So yes, overall, you know, my impressions of the interface are good. I think it looks very slick. I like the way they've done this. I do like the way you can share things as well. There's all sorts of inspiration here that you can take a look at. So what do you think, guys? I think it's a really interesting development to see AI being tailored much more for the architectural application as opposed to more general image creation. And you can see it works pretty well in my view. So it's going to be very exciting to see where this technology takes us in the future. But it's definitely something I think you should try. I think the only way to embrace this technology is to kind of give it a go and see what you can do with it and how you might be able to incorporate it into your workflow. So I'm definitely quite excited to see how this implements into my personal workflows as an architect as well. So thanks for watching, everybody. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next ones. Bye bye.